Welcome to the 8th session for the series Test Automation Framework for Web Applications built using Cypress and JavaScript. In the last session, we saw the reporting implementation, right? We saw like how can we add the Cypress Mocha reporter, and we saw like how can we add the screenshots for the field and past, okay? Test cases. So in this session, we will see how can we handle the multiple environments using environment variables and Cypress custom commands. So let's get started. So in the current implementation, we have this test case, right? So basically, we are using this particular predefined command called visit, and we are putting this URL here in the test suite file only. Okay, but this should not be the case. So this should be coming from something called environment variables. So for example, let me go to the Cypress config file. Yeah, this is the file. Let me put the variable called environment. Okay. So this is the environment variable. Let me put the name as application URL maybe. Yeah, this will be the key basically. And let me take this value. Okay. Now you see what we have done inside the Cypress configuration file. Basically, we have actually uh, created one environment variable with the key called application URL. Okay, so this is the place from where we are going to pick this URL, and we will be handling the different environments. Like we will be able to handle pre-prod, prod, QA, and dev. Okay, now let's come to the commands.js part. So this is the place with the help of which what we can do, we can actually create our Cypress custom commands. Okay, so let's just get started with this. For example, how can we do that? So basically Cypress commands. So this is a custom command, right? So I'm adding one command here as maybe name it as go to application, go to application, okay, and yeah. So now to read this particular environment variable, what can I do? Basically Cypress dot, this it is an environment variable, right? I can use it and I can press here. So this is going to give me the URL, basically the value for that variable which we created just now, constant. This is the URL. Okay. Now the next step is what we want to do. We want to go there, right? So cy dot visit where to this URL. So this is basically navigate to the application, right? And this was something called, we were retrieve the application URL from where? Cypress environment variables. Okay, so what we have done so far is basically we have done a very bit, like we added one environment variable using in this configuration file, and we named it as application variable. This is the URL for our application, and then we went to the Cypress folder. Under this we have a file called commands. Under the support directory we added one Cypress command. This is a custom command basically. So let me add a comment here. This is a custom command basically, Cypress custom command. Okay, now I can use this particular command. So basically you see, if you go there, so visit. So what was this visit? This visit was something called predefined. Okay, which Cypress team has already given you, like you can directly use this particular method to navigate to any web application. But now what we have done, we have actually created one more custom command. So go to application. Okay, now this should work in the same way as it was doing. Okay, so let me just re-execute our test cases, save all the files, go to the package.json file, and let me re-execute this in the Chrome browser this time, and let's see if that works fine or not. Okay, it is opening the Chrome browser now. It started the execution. It's trying to execute. Yeah, it landed on the application page, it filled the URL, and then it does everything. Okay, so we can check the reports as well. Let me go to the reports in the Finder. Okay, this is the one, open with Edge browser maybe. You see The execution was done. It took around 4.5 seconds. And this is the way. See, I told you in one of the tutorial, like we will be able to do the filtration. So if you click here, you'll be able to see only past one. By clicking here, you will be able to see only the failed ones. Okay. So this is the total time of execution. This is the title, and this is also a filter. You can see pending, skipped, everything is here. Okay. Let me just close it and delete all this one. You can even override these reports as well. For example, if you want to override, okay, this is not mandatory that you every time need to go and delete all the reports. No, you can actually override these reports as well by this property. Okay, this is override, right? Currently it is false. If you mark it as true, okay, and if you execute your test cases one or two or three times, for example, let me execute in Chrome. So for the very first time, the report should get created, right? Now, after this, if you execute on the Firefox browser, so there should not be two reports, there should be only one report. Okay, so let me just go to this reports folder. There is one, right? Okay, now this time let me execute it in the Firefox. Last time we did on the Chrome. Let me just re-execute it. Yeah, it is doing the execution and this is done, completed. Yeah. You see how many reports? Only one. Why? Because it override. The report was overridden because of this property. Okay, so this is how you can override the reports as well. Okay, so in this session we saw like how can we actually make the use of this environment variables in Cypress custom commands. Okay, so this is how we did, and we're able to execute our test cases. In the next session we will see how can we use XPath as a locator strategy with Cypress. So we need to add one plugin there. So we'll see in the next session. That's all for this session. Thank you for your time. Have a good day.